Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here, and today I want to talk about a game a little different, and that game is called Thunder Tier 1. This is something that only just came on my radar. In fact, I was ever so slightly late in discovering this, so much so that I missed the last preview build. Obviously there'll be a chance to go hands-on again, but I saw the trailer for this one and instantly this jumped out at me because if you guys know me, I'm not normally one for shooters, but there are select games in that sort of genre that I do enjoy playing, and this one caught my eye because, of course, as you can see from the gameplay, it is top-down. Now, very, very different thing, but I don't know if any of you guys ever played Rogue Spear, Rainbow Six Rogue Spear, back on the Game Boy Advance. That had this same sort of top-down nature. Admittedly, the graphics were way worse back then, and of course the gameplay was slightly different, but the principle was still the same, and I loved that game back in the day. And when I saw this, it just immediately jumped out because it actually looks like a really fun way to take on the genre. And the fun thing about this as well is that it's both got a co-op campaign, plus it has both PvE and PvP modes. So I thought in today's video I was just going to talk briefly about what this game is because, again, I really want to try this out. I'm gutted I just missed the sign-up window this weekend, but it's definitely now on my radar because the next time I get a chance to go hands-on, I am definitely playing this. But if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Maybe some of you guys had a chance to play it recently. Let me know in the comments down below. Or if not, if this interests you, then definitely keep it locked. But to begin with, top level, Thunder Tier 1 is basically described as a realistic top-down shooter where the player joins an elite task force fighting enemy operatives. You have to utilize all your tactical skills in real time to neutralize the enemy combatants and achieve your mission objectives. Now, of course, amidst that, you have plenty of tools available to you. You know, you can kind of go into areas and you've got like night vision, you can cut through fences and different things like that. You can breach different doorways. There's loads of cool tactical plays you can make, but of course, this is all done from a top-down perspective, so it's actually quite interesting because, of course, when you factor into the PvP side of things, you have an interesting layer of visibility that you, of course, otherwise wouldn't have had if you're looking down the barrel. Now, I mentioned, of course, you have a co-op campaign with up to 4 players. Right now, this is, of course, focusing on Steam. Whether or not they have plans to expand to consoles later on will, of course, remain to be seen. It definitely feels like it would fit nicely on consoles, given the sort of, the top-down nature is kind of reminiscent of that sort of twin-stick style gameplay. But when you talk about some of the other modes, focusing on some of the stuff that was available this weekend in the preview, they had a couple of new modes. The first one is called Exfil. This is a 10-player PvP mode in which one team of 5 has to basically prevent the other team from extracting a package. And each game consists of 10 rounds, and teams swap halfway through. The first team to score 6 points will win the match. So that was, of course, introduced in the most recent preview. Plus, they had another mode called Domination, where it's a 4-player PvE mode this time that has you racing around the clock to take back control points from computer-controlled enemy factions, and you also have to disarm bombs, fend off enemy counterattacks, and use the resupply boxes arriving each time an objective is completed. So, of course, that's your balance between PvP and PvE. It's also worth noting that the preview gave people a chance to test out one of the campaign missions, which, of course, from a gameplay point of view, will be very similar to, say, some of the PvE activities you'll be doing. Of course, up to 4 players working through kind of taking out those terrorists and, of course, dealing with those objectives. But from a gameplay point of view, honestly, I just really like the fact that they've got all these different gadgets in there, the fact that they've kind of got that co-op feel to it, the fact that you can kind of like play with up to 3 other friends. You have that nice tactical like squad style gameplay, the way that you can move around, and of course you line up your shots where you say there's targets you want to take out and you want to take them out all silently. Everybody use their lasers to sort of like line up their target. You then synchronize those shots the way that you can sort of breach into different buildings, different areas to basically get the drop on the enemy. You can of course factor in the night vision there. It just looks like a lot of fun, and honestly I just think that the new perspective just kind of makes it more exciting because we've seen so many tactical based first person shooters. There are plenty of great FPSs out there. There are plenty of great tactical games out there, but I feel like a lot of the time they tend to blur into one because it's just like, oh, it's just another shooter. Whereas this one, like the fact that it is from a completely different perspective, something that is definitely more reminiscent for me to some older games that I've played, that in and of itself is reason to check it out. Now, outside of that, there of course isn't much known at this current point. Of course, once I get a chance to go hands-on, I will be sure to dive deeper, share some more with you guys if you're interested in it. But for the time being, this was just a brief overview of what Thunder Tier 1 is, for those of you maybe that haven't seen it, and this way I can kind of put it on your radar as a game that maybe you might want to check out. Regardless, that's it for the time being. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, be sure to keep it locked for plenty more. If you want to catch more from us at HyperX Gaming, don't forget you can catch the guys TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch weekdays, playing a variety of games. If you guys want to jump in, tune in, watch, and even join in, then make sure you check them out. The links to those are in the description box down below, and of course you can join the Discord to get involved in all of the discussions.